Everyone, I'm Katherine Bennett. I'm the Director of Social Media and Content with the Atlanta Outdoor Club, and I'm so excited. We have a really special guest with us today, Eric Graves, the Executive Director of the Len Foote Hike Inn in North Georgia. Hi there.
Hi, Catherine. Thanks for having me.
I love the hike in, but there may be some people watching this video that don't know what the hike in is. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about it and who owns it.
Okay. The Len Foote Hike Inn is a backcountry lodge. We're in the North Georgia mountains, a 5 mile hike from Amicalola Falls State Park. Think of it as a rustic bed and breakfast with education and conservation as kind of the heart of our message while you're there. And we are part of the Georgia State Park system, although we're operated by a nonprofit that operates it for the state of Georgia.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right. Now, what do you think makes the hiking so special, and why do you think so many people come year after year?
Well, the hike is the big part of it. The fact that you can only get there by hiking. We're the only backcountry lodge in Georgia, only three in the southeast. So the unique experience of hiking in and really being able to kind of disconnect from the modern world and just to enjoy a peaceful night or two in the mountains.
Yeah, that hike is absolutely beautiful. I have done it multiple times. I've gone there as a day trip and then I've stayed a couple of times. But the hike itself, just getting there, is so breathtaking and it's so nice, especially being from Atlanta, to be able to just literally just unplug. I think it's truly special.
It really does set the kind of experience for being able to get away when you know, hop out of your car at Amicalola Falls and you start that 5 mile hike. By the time you get there, you really have left kind of the modern world behind. So,
So, what are some of your typical guests? Are they typically people that are on the Appalachian Trail? Like, do you guys keep track of that stuff?
I won't say we, not officially as far as keeping track of it. In the spring, we do see some through starters, as we like to call them, taking off towards Maine. This time of year, we'll start seeing kind of a few early southbound through hikers come through. Although the southbounders tend to just pass through and grab a snack and head on back home pretty quickly. But our average guest really, is kind of stressed out Metro Atlanta. Whether it's families wanting to bring kids out for kind of a wilderness experience with the safety net of having a roof over your head and hot showers and somebody preparing the meals for you, to the experienced backpackers. We do see a lot of kind of retiree age guests that have backpacked, a good part of their lives and decide a bunk bed room and a home cooked meal is a much better option these days. So.
I gotta say, your food is very good. Who's your chef, or do you have multiple chefs?
We do. We have a kitchen manager and then two chefs that are in there as well. And even some of our management crew fills in from time to time. But the food is, it's one of those most people are surprised at the quality of the meal. That 5 mile hike definitely helps. But we do have a really good menu. So.
So, what type of activities are available? You kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but once I get to your hike in, what can I do?
Well, one of the things we highly encourage everybody to do, especially their first trip up, is to go on our facility tour that we do each afternoon before dinner. And that's where we explain who and what we are, and also talk about our lead certifications, leaders in energy and environmental design, that certification process that we've been through, and just talk about all the green operating practices that we use from the composting toilets to water conservation to solar. And it really does kind of give you a little bit of a behind the scenes peek of who and what we are and how we operate the inn. Then after dinner each night, we do have some type of environmental program. Some nights it, maybe myself or another, board member even, or employee talking about hiking the Appalachian Trail or other hikes that we've done all over the world. Maybe, nature or, wildflower or birding presentation. So we have that after dinner each night. And then also we really just encourage people to meet the other guests and enjoy spending time with whoever you came with.
I think that's one of the best parts, actually, is the social part for me. I know some people like to get away, but I like meeting the other guests there. I think that can be an interesting experience too.
It's a really big part of the experience. I don't know if myself and even the other staff and some of our board members really took that to heart. The COVID situation, about 5 years ago now, we had to separate guests out at dinner and we didn't do family style dining. We had a lot of our regular guests not come because of that, because a big part of their experience was meeting the other hikers and enjoying a meal with them while they were at the inn. So the social aspect of meeting the other guest is a big part of it. So.
Absolutely. Now you touched on it a little bit earlier, but can you go into like the electricity? Do you have electricity, plumbing? How does all that work?
We do have electricity, have hot showers. That's one of the things that we're one of the few backcountry lodges that do have kind of modern amenities, which, was a big part of the state park system's goal when they were building it. We're only 27 years old and, Mount LeConte, the Smokies is 101 years old now. So we do have the advantage of being the new kid on the block. We do have an underground power line that comes in about 3 miles underground from our east. And then we do have solar that supplements that. So we're around 60 to 70% solar on the year. But we do have that underground line that comes in to feed our main power. Water, we are actually on a well. And so we operate basically a small water system for the inn itself, treating the water and filtering it. So yeah, so fairly high tech backcountry lodge. So.
Now, do you guys have TV or internet?
No and no, on purpose. That was part of the original concept, was encouraging people to disconnect and, not just really hide in your room and watch TV like you do a lot of times at a hotel when you're traveling or trying to get away. So that was part of that original mindset years ago, which foresight, looking at it, cell phone technology in 1998 when we opened, significantly different, kind of addiction. I don't know if that's quite the right word. Our reliance on,
I think that's the right word.
our reliance on technology. I mean, we're using a laptop to do a remote Zoom interview now. So technology is part of all of our lives. But they had the foresight to say, we want to provide a place for people to disconnect from the modern world. And it's significantly more modern now than it was 27 years ago. And we fill that space for people. And we feel like it's a really valuable space to be able to disconnect from technology and enjoy kind of face-to-face conversations again. So.
Absolutely. I have to admit I'm one of those people that has my cell phone with me and I'm 53 years old, so for many years of my life I didn't even have a cell phone. It didn't even exist, or I didn't have access to it. And it's so interesting how I've evolved, our society has evolved, and we're addicted to this technology. But as you say, I think it's really important too to take a break and step away from it and enjoy nature. And I think it's fantastic that the Hike Inn offers that opportunity, and definitely a huge draw. I get it. Now, another question for you: your employees, do they live
Yes.
there? How do they get to work? What's their commute like?
So, well, the on-site crew, when you come visit the Hike Inn, the crew that you see working there actually do live there.
Oh,
So we can have up to 10 employees living on site. Then there's a handful like myself and reservations, and even a few part-time employees that help out behind the scenes that do work remotely. But most of the crew that you see when you're there do live and work on site. So.
interesting. I think that sounds like a fun place to work. When I retire, that might have to be a second career for me.
Uh, it
I'll look
it
you
is
up.
a great place most days. We're it's one of those we're ready. The on-site crew, we're ready for fall to get here, and us man, we've already started getting busier as it started to cool down. We've summer is one of our slower seasons, so the staff start getting a little antsy and stir crazy when we're slow. So we're all looking forward to being busy now with our fall season coming. So.
Yes, fall, the best time of year in Georgia, in my opinion. But I think a lot of people feel that way. And the hike-in is beautiful in the autumn and in the fall.
It is, and it is our busiest season. We take reservations 11 months in advance. So if you can only come on a weekend, you need to start planning for next October, because this year is already booked. We still have some weekday availability in the fall and going into November. But yeah, we open reservations approximately 11 months in advance. So spring season, wildflower season, and spring break season, and then fall leaf season are both, times you really do need to plan almost 11 months in advance. So.
That says a lot about how popular you are if you have to make a reservation 11 months in advance. Wow. But that's good for you guys.
It's definitely good for us. We had a record year last year, and we were right around 73% occupied on the year, which just blows my mind. That we were almost to that 15 rooms a night out of 20 rooms every single night. When you start looking at the numbers at the end of the year, it's kind of amazing to see how busy we are consistently throughout the year. So
Now, how many people can stay there? Is it 40 people a night? What is
we
your occupancy?
well, we got 20 rooms, and we consider 40 people a full house. Children under 12 can share a room with two adults. But we really, so technically we could have 60. We really try to avoid that. The dining room is not comfortable when it's that busy. So around 40 is what we consider a full house.
Okay. Now, any fun stories you want to share or allowed to share?
Over 27 years of running a backcountry lodge, we could do an entire episode on nothing but that. We we really do have amazing guests. It's one of those I always jokingly say, when you have to hike 5 miles, it does kind of weed out the really needy percentage of the population. You're getting an independent, adventurous crowd come into backcountry lodges. We do see families bring up smaller children, usually around 5 years of age is the youngest, that, hike in all the way on their own. We have plenty of parents carry kids in, but usually 5-year-olds start to make it on their own. We've had a 90-year-old celebrate their birthday and rent out the entire inn and just have friends and family all come up. The through starter season in the spring where we see everything from the really prepared individuals that know what they're getting into to individuals with 100-pound plus packs that take 2 days just to get to us and still haven't even made it to Springer Mountain. Individuals showing up with no winter gear in February to hike the AT, and they didn't think it gets cold in Georgia. So yeah, it's amazing the variety of people that we do see. So.
You may not be able to say, but any famous people ever stay there?
We've had a retired Atlanta Falcons football coach. That's been 20 years ago. So it's quite a few years ago. We have had a few retired football players come up. They definitely stand out when they have to kind of duck and walk in sideways through the front door of the lobby because their shoulders are so broad. And let's say we had a NASCAR pit crew come up one time. And that's mostly former, collegiate athletes. So you get a 12, very type A personalities that are driven like that at the end. They definitely cleaned their plates and everything out of the serving bowls and had zero food waste. But that was a really fun group of guys that came up. So.
That's awesome. I love that. Is there anything else you want to share with us before we wrap this up?
We're getting ready to work on our wood stoves, make sure they're all good to go for our winter season coming up. And winter has turned into my favorite season. When the wood stoves are burning, that's kind of when the hike in is the hike in to me now. And we do offer discounts throughout the year on slower seasons on weekdays. So in the winter and summer, we actually do offer some discounted rates.
Nice. I love that. That's great information.
Yeah.
And I will say that winter is also my favorite season to hike. It's not as hot. There aren't as many bugs. You can see further. I just love it.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite season for hiking as well, at least day hiking anyway. We're going to a backcountry lodge where I don't have to worry about staying warm all night.
Well, Eric, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and share some of the inside details about the hike in. There's a lot of things that I didn't know that I learned just talking to you here. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And if we want to find out more information about the hike in, where can we go?
Best place is to go to our webpage, hike-in.com, so inn.com. It's got a reservation page linked to there. Frequently asked questions are there. And you can always call reservations as well if you have questions, or email reservations. That's at reservations@hike-in.com. So,
All righty. Take care.
all right, thank you.